Hello everybody and welcome to Walt Disney World Speedway for Season 2, Race Number 2 of the NCS Sim Racing Challenge, the Mickyard. 480 laps around this 1 mile triangular speedway that is just outside of Magic Kingdom. It's sure to be an amazing race here. We had an exhilarating first race with the Daytona 500 and we travel a little over 2 hours west in Florida to go to this 1 mile speedway. Here's a look at our current point standings heading into today's race. Christian Vargas won the Daytona 500. He sits atop the point standings. Joshua Harrison second, Alexander Rowe third, Stuart Gratton fourth, Sam Francis fifth. And you can take a look at the point standings here. The pole sitter for today's race, Sean McKean, 12th in points. And then Henry Guo, your Season 1 champion, in 27th. Joshua Moore in 40th. Nick Roten, 39th, both after some hard incidents. But these point standings will certainly be shaken up, as plate races are certainly something. But this is the first actual track that these drivers will be taking a task on trying to master. We had Kaysen Cooper dominate the Truck Series race. Could we see something like that today? We have Michael Guthrie on the outside pole and Sean McKean on the pole for today's race. Let's take a look at our starting lineup for the Mickyard 400. Guthrie starting second for the second week in a row. Sean McKean on the pole. Row 2, Timothy Sharp and Nick Roten back in the car after his vicious incident. Row 3, Josh Moore and Abel Nickerson. Row 4, Seelan Nosler, Henry Guo in the number 1 Chevrolet. Row 5 is an AMS lockout, Eris Yuko and Aaron Hunter. Row 6, Jacob Dabo, and then the 85 of David Kreutz. Row 7, Garrett Lamar and Christian Vargas. Row 8, Greg Rowland and Mitchell Collins. Row number 9 is Boston Jones and Richard Fridge. Row 10 is Axel Rocha and then Sam Francis as cars are getting ready to roll off. Row 11, Nathan Stapleton and Rue Sharp. Row 12, that's going to be Rory Sharp and then the number 2 of Colin Scarborough. Row 13, Jonah Burridge and then Christopher Marnell. Row 14, Ian McDaniel and Arwen Basic. Row 15, Hayden Phillips and then Joshua Harrison, who competed in the Truck Series race. Stuart Gratton and Harry Williams make up row 16. Row 17 is Keith Hughes and Barney Thresher. Row 18, Abby Lane and James Sharp. Row number 19, Alexander Rowe, who finished third in the Truck Series race, and Spencer Davis. Rounding out the field, Tom Gill and Nelson Reeves in the 78 and 12. Going to be 80 laps around this 1 mile track. Sean McKean gets the pole for the first time since Pikes Peak. He won from the pole at Pikes Peak in Season 1. Can he replicate that success here today? Coming to the green flag, Sean McKean, Michael Guthrie, Nick Roten, and Timothy Sharp, leading him into turn number 1. Oh, Sean McKean goes into the wall as we finish lap number 1. He's already got a tiny, sizable gap over Michael Guthrie in the 33 Polaroid Chevrolet. Timothy Sharp and Josh Moore battling it out for third place there, but that Hungry Jack, number 27, sitting out in front here at the Mickyard. Drivers basically send it out of that last corner in turn 3. It's pretty high speed right there. as you're basically going full throttle throughout it. There's Nick Roten. He's fallen back quite a couple of spots from the start. Thinks that he just needs to get used to the car. There goes the 27 into the wall coming out of turn number 3. And then Michael Guthrie is going to take the lead. Sean McKean with a hard impact to the outside wall. The 27 just slammed into it. And McKean says that he's got a heavy vibration after that. It looks like drivers thread the line out of this corner, trying not to wreck out of it. And Sean McKean already showing that is what could happen. As you saw, the 3 of Josh Moore was underneath him coming out of the corner and then backed out. That's something that drivers have to do. There's a little pothole that they try to avoid. And McKean is going to go into pit road to try to service his car. He said the vibration was getting too much. They're going to service him. And we've got a car around behind him. That's the 58 of Keith Hughes. Caution is out on lap 6 of 80 for the first time today. The 58 got turned around into turn 3. And we are going to see the yellow flag appear at possibly the perfect time for Sean McKean, as drivers tend to go 2 laps down when pitting. We're going to take a look and see what happened with the 58. They were 3 wide. Barney Thresher in the middle came up and then just turned the 58 around, going off the nose of both him and the 87 of Harry Williams. Quite an impact. Let's take a look at it on board. Yeah, it looks like they just got sandwiched in between the 58 and the 59 and just sent them around. Here's another angle at it. Interesting to see. The 87 taps the wall quite a bit, but the 58 gets the majority of the damage there. Now, it will be interesting. Will we see differing pit strategies here? We have the 33, the 3, the 42, all those guys coming down. But the 85 and a few others staying out. The 85, the 79, the 72, the Daytona 500 winner, staying out on pit. Staying out. Axel Rocha, Nathan Stapleton, and the 69, all staying out. The 3 just gets gas and go, and Josh Moore is going to be the first driver off of pit road. 2 tires, and he's off and away. And he's going to be your first one off pit road. Then Jimothy Sharp, Nick Roten, Aris Yuko, and Garrett Lamar. But it's David Kreutz, the 85 car for Mudfish Motorsports. He is staying out. Him and quite a few other drivers stayed out during that caution period, so he is now your leader, with Sean McKean alongside him, who is 1 lap down. Jacob Dabo sitting there in 2nd place. 3rd place is the 72, your Daytona 500 winner, Christian Vargas. 4th place is the 84 of Axel Rocha, and then 5th place is Nathan Stapleton. Coming to the green flag here, the 85 and the 27. lead us to the green flag. Coming into turn number 1, David Kreutz gets a huge advantage over Jacob Dabo, who slides up the track. Enter turn 1. The 27 right on the back bumper of the 85. Unfortunately, it's not like that's for position. But David Kreutz out in front here already. There's Josh Moore in the 3, already making up ground. He's passed Abbey Lane, and now he's working on Spencer Davis. He is the top driver of the ones who pitted, and he is certainly looking faster than the ones who have not at the moment. Making his way, he's solidly in the top 10 now. There goes the 3, trying to work his way to the front of the pack. The 27 got around the 85, so Sean McKean is currently 40th, but he is on the lead lap, so that's something for that 27 car, who's slowly pulling away from the 85, who is slowly pulling away from Jacob Dabo in the 79 for GGA. They had an alright Daytona race. They showed some speed. They liked what they saw with their plate track package. They're hoping that they have a solid day today. With this pit strategy, both of their cars are within the top 10. The 69 of Hayden Phillips is a few positions back behind Nathan Stapleton. But the number 79 Ally Ford looking quite sporty there in second. Hopefully they can keep up with the 85 of David Kreutz. They said that the 85 just has tremendous speed, because there's his teammate, the 69 of Hayden Phillips, who got loose out of the corner. Stuart Gratton is going to take the position away, and the 69 is going to fall 4 positions on that top lane, as the 3 of Josh Moore is just making up ground slowly but surely. There's Stuart Gratton in the 17, the rookie driver for DAF Racing. There's your Daytona 500 winner, Christian Vargas, being worked on by Axel Rocha, on board with the 84. Trying to find his way around that 72. You see that little checkup that the drivers have coming out of the corner, just in case, just to make sure that they don't run it into the wall of base, as they have seen other drivers do. Very interesting, very tricky, triangular shaped track. For that turn 2, it's not like Pocono, where it's the tightest corner. Turn 2 is very wide, and you have a very late braking point, very late apex. And the heaviest braking corner is really turn 1. You see, you have a very late braking point in this very wide, commanding corner. Not many passing opportunities here. It's a fairly one-laned, maybe two-laned track. But these drivers certainly find it a challenge. They call it a driver's racetrack. They are enjoying the challenge. Michael Guthrie in the 33, he was your leader, but now he is sitting in 22nd, mired back in traffic. Even with 4 fresh tires and fuel, he can't seem to pass around here. Like I just mentioned earlier, saying it's very hard to pass. He's going to try to work underneath the 52 of the Cooler Sam, who is Michael Guthrie's former team. And there goes the 33, trying to make the pass underneath him for turn 2. It looks like he will clear the 52. But slow work goes the 33, trying to work his way through the field. As David Kreutz leading lap 23 of 80 here at Walt Disney World Speedway. Sliding it out of the corner, nearly hitting the wall, but keeps it off. It's a very cool, somewhat windy day here in Florida, just outside of Orlando, where Walt Disney World is located. It's actually just under 60 degrees. It's 58 degrees with about 4 miles an hour of wind. So the track is not as hot as drivers would prefer it to. This is a track that you see them sliding around, and this is with cooler track temperatures. With very warm track temperatures, you would see a race that is much like maybe New Hampshire in the summer. As Jacob Dalbo sitting there in second, 72 in third, the 84 in fourth. Stuart Gratton working on Nathan Stapleton for fifth. But Christian Vargas in the 72, having a good day after his Daytona 500 win last week. Trying to capitalize on it. Nathan Stapleton trying to have a better day than he did at Daytona. He had an okay day that day, but a run up front is always a good omen for a team, regardless of who it is. Stuart Gratton in the 17, looking pretty strong after Daytona. He had a good run at Daytona as well, finished with the top 5. And then there's Eris Yuko battling hard with the 42 of Timothy Sharp. Now on lap 28 of 80. Yuko was a championship contender last season, came into this year as a championship favorite, trying to see if they can regain some of that magic, but working on the 42 of Timothy Sharp, the number in the Heat Racing Team Sprite Chevrolet. There's Abby Lane for Zach Armstrong Racing in the number 6 PetSmart Dodge. They did not have the best speed weeks, the number 6 car. They qualified low. They had a near wreck with David Kreutz, your current leader, in the duels, and then they just had a bad race, finished in the lower half of the in the 40 range, in the low 30s. So a good run for the number 6 crew would certainly mean a lot for that team. As David Kreutz coming around to lead lap 31 of 80. He's got a massive gap over the 79. It's Nathan Stapleton, who was being worked on by the 17, but now the 00 of Spencer Davis is trying to work on that number 4 car. Double zero. Spencer Davis had a good run at Daytona. He could be the person that Nick Roten is looking for to accompany him. Vincent Crook did not have the best of seasons last year. But Spencer Davis, could he be the driver that Nick Roten was looking for in season number 1? There's Axel Rocha trying to have a better season than he did last year, as both of his teammates from previous years, from last season, have left. So he is the sole number 1 driver at Mudfish Motorsports. But David Krutz, number 85, out in front here on lap 34. We could see some pit stops coming soon. It is entirely possible that we do see pit stops within the next couple of laps from the drivers who did not pit. Sean McKean setting some of the fastest laps on the track, but he is sitting in 40th. Unfortunately, not much that he can do except keep driving at this pace. As you see the damage that's on the side of his car, just massive. As we hearing from the 85's pit crew that lap 37 is the goal for them to make it to. And that is when we will see people coming down pit road. David Krutz out in front. But for how long will this pit cycle last? And will we see anybody else coming down with him? There he goes onto the apron. Coming down pit road goes the 85. Axel Rocha is going to stay out and obtain the lead. The 17, the 69, the 4, 72. Lots of people coming down. The 79, 85, the 12, the 37, the 6, the 97, and 44 all coming down pit road to accompany the 85. Axel Rocha looks to be coming down pit road this time, and he does. The 84 is going to get his service. Spencer Davis is going to take the lead now. Lap 39 of 80, we're seeing pit stops. So it looks like we know what the fuel marker is, how long these drivers can go for. Gets a little loose in the middle of the corner. That allows Josh Moore to get up to him. And that's because the 00 is breaking the come down pit road. Josh Moore to the lead as the 00 hits pit road. Also the 58 coming down pit road as well. So lap 40 of 80. So it seems to be lap 40. But we were under caution for quite a few laps. We were under caution from lap 6 to lap 12. So with 6 laps of caution, drivers were able to make it to lap 40. So could we see a fuel, if we don't see any more cautions in this race, we've already had one. But if Nick Roten, the 42, as there's the 85 right there who's a lap down. So the drivers that just pitted, how long can they make it to? It's entirely possible that they cannot make the whole race. But the drivers that pitted under caution, if we say it's a 35 lap window that drivers can make it till. The drivers who pitted under caution, barring another caution, if there is not another caution, because there goes the 30, there goes the 3 now, as well as the 0, the 42 as well, the 30, the 1, the 68, the 2, the 24, the 45, the 18, and the 78 all coming down pit road as Harris Yuko is your leader. So it's entirely possible that drivers who pitted under caution will make it to the end. The drivers who did not pit might have to make one more stop, as Yuko is going to come down pit road with Michael Guthrie taking the lead. The 34 is going to be the driver following him, as well as the 22, the 52, and the 27. As Guthrie is back in the lead on lap 44 of 80. Only took him a little bit, and he's been mired back in traffic. But Guthrie out in front. At 45 of 80. It looks like the 33 doing a little wiggle, and he's going to be doing some heavy braking to come down pit road. The 23, the 86, and the 32 all pitted last lap. And then the 51 is going to follow Michael Guthrie down pit road. And Greg Rowland is going to take the lead in the number 93. I can't imagine he will be out there for much longer. But the longer that these drivers can stretch it is the longer that it's the longer that they are able to last it if we do in fact go caution free the rest of the race. The 20 of Richard Fridge is going to follow him down pit road, and that seems to be everyone who has pitted. So Rowland comes down pit road, and he's going to get his 4 tires and fuel, and that will cycle the lead back to David Kreutz in the 85, his teammate, who's got a little bit of damage on the side of his car. That's certainly not good for the 85. Does not seem to be hindering his speed at all, though. So the 85 out in front at Daytona. Not at Daytona. This is not Daytona. It is Walt Disney World Speedway. Now wait for the pit cycle to complete as the 93 and the 20 are still on pit road. But absolute domination thus far from the 85, who has led from lap 10 onwards. That was a caution lap. But he was only out of the lead for 10 laps, and he obtains it right back. And he's got a massive lead over second place. Your current top 10, David Kreutz out in front, Josh Moore in the 3 in second, Axel Rocha third, Spencer Davis fourth, the 72 of Christian Vargas fifth, the 79 had a bad pit stop, Jacob Dabo in sixth, Stuart Gratton seventh, Nathan Stapleton eighth, Nick Roten ninth, and then Hayden Phillips is in 10th. There's Josh Moore in the number 3, currently sitting in second place now. He is on the strategy of the drivers who pitted on the first caution period. Axel Rocha is not, as well as Spencer Davis. 84 is feeling strong. The 00, confident in his ability to have good runs in these races. He's hoping that the fuel is able to stretch out. Christian Vargas in the 72, he's the Daytona 500 winner, hoping to capitalize on his excellent win from last week. The 79, trying to make a mark as the new team, the new Ford team, one of only 2 in this year. Stuart Gratton in the 17, looking pretty good, as well as Nathan Stapleton. We've got a bunch of rookies in this top 10. The next veteran driver, that is the man right behind Nathan Stapleton, Nick Roten in number 0. New sponsor for the team with Pfizer, and then the Fanatec 69 car that is Hayden Phillips with Season 1 champion Henry Guo sitting there right in 11th. On board with Guo, he's been pretty strong throughout this race. He's made his way through the field. We're going to take a few laps with this number 1 Kroger machine. He's made his way through the field, and it's entirely possible that if we don't see a caution for the rest of the race. Now it's lap 54 of 80, so quite a bit left to go. But if we stay caution-free like we have been thus far, as we're about 48 laps caution-free, it's possible that we could see this one car maybe battling for within the top 5, which would be a great rebound after Daytona, where they dropped back to the back of the pack, tried to avoid any last lap incidents, and none happened. So the one car kind of got cycled out after finishing second in the Season 1 Daytona 500. Nick Roden in the 0, another one of the veterans from Season 1, still in the field. As I mentioned, Pfizer coming on to sponsor the team full-time for the full season, as well as Exalta coming on to sponsor the 00 after they ceremoniously dumped Audi from the team, switching to Mercedes engines for both Cup and their new truck team. There's Spencer Davis in the 00, the teammate for team owner Nick Roden. As I mentioned, Mercedes, they switched to them because they have lots of experience in rear-wheel drive stock car racing with DTM and V8 supercars in Australia. And dumping Audi, is they did not have the best performances with Audi with the Quattro engines. And after a spat with Porsche and those employees, they left to basically go to their rivals with Mercedes-Benz. 00 trying to get underneath Axel Rocha, not able to do it. The 84 with a little bobble coming out of the corner, but no. There goes the 00 now on the inside, and he's going to take the position away for the moment, but the 84 is going to battle back on the outside. Side by side as they enter turn number 2, as Axel Rocha clears Spencer Davis for now, as they come out of turn 3 and onto the front straightaway. Lap 60 of 80 with David Krutz still in the lead. We've got a nice little battle here for third place between the 84 and 00. The 00 falling back now after the failed attempt of trying to get the win, or the position. As there's the 85. As I mentioned, damage on him from earlier. We weren't able to catch when he got that. But lap 61 of 80, he's going to be catching up on some lapped traffic pretty quickly within the next 3 laps. And the reasons that we were talking about the 3, the 0, the 1, and the 54, those are the drivers that had... They were the ones that had pitted under the first caution, under our first and only caution period, which means that they pitted later in the cycle than the 85. The 85 pitted on lap 37. The 3 of Josh Moore pitted on lap 42. So that's a 5-lap difference in fuel. But with the 85 just cruising away, I don't think they've been saving fuel, especially with this lap traffic coming up. It's completely possible that they could see he could burn some fuel trying to get around them. On lap 63 of 80 in the closing laps, on board with the dash cam of David Krutz, we can see the wheel turning and working through this tricky triangle right here. And this is a whole hodgepodge of drivers that is just right in the back, all fighting for position here. Redlining it going into turn number 2, you can see how these gear ratios are set up. And look at all of these drivers. David Kreutz's right in the back of that, and you would think this is like a battle for the lead, but it is only 30th. 85 trying to work around Ian McDaniel now. David Kreutz around the 26, now working on the 59, who's right next to the 78 of Tom Gill. Sliding it out of the corner goes David Kreutz, and he's going to try to go around the outside of the 59. Not sure how this is going to work out. He had already passed Harry Williams with ease, as well as Ian McDaniel, but now a little struggle with the 59. Could bode problems for your current leader, who may have to pit. The lead has shrunk down to under a second here at Walt Disney World Speedway, the 3 of Josh Moore. After the 85 has led 90% of this race, has had his lead compromised and shrunk down to under half a second by Josh Moore, who's within breathing distance of him now. Lots of struggles trying to get around this lap traffic for the 85 on lap 68 of 80. The 87 goes high, and that makes it too wide between him and Ian McDaniel, which makes it a little tough for the 3. That gives the 85 some breathing room. Into turn 3. The 18 of Josh Harrison, very slow on the bottom lane of the track as the 85 goes underneath to try to make something work. Lap 69 of 80. This is still a huge mess for the 85. He checks up out of the corner. It's the 78 checked up. They all checked up. And now the 3, Josh Moore, is right on the back bumper of David Kreutz. Into turn number 1. He's got the back bumper. He's got his rear mirror filled of the number 3 Gatorade car. Josh Moore won race number 2 last season at Auto Club. Could he win the second race of the season again? That's what he's looking to do. The 85 touches the wall coming out of turn 3 as we are on 10 laps to go. Underneath the quarter panel goes the 3. Side by side down the back straightaway. Into turn number 2, the 3's got the lead. Josh Moore has taken the lead for the first lead change since pit stops on lap 47. They're side by side on the front straightaway with 9 laps to go. Josh Moore is your current leader. Is the 85 in trouble? Josh Moore, is he able to clear him? And he does. Josh Moore clears David Kreutz coming into turn number 2. And that lead has grown. Eight laps to go. Josh Moore has seized command of the lead. And the 3rd and 4th place drivers are right there too. Axel Rocha, Spencer Davis trying to get a piece of this action. The 85 with radio transmissions, trying to go underneath the 3, not able to. 7 laps to go. Radio transmissions from the 85 crew saying that they will need to pit in the next 2 laps or else they will run out of fuel. Highly, highly unfortunate circumstances, but they are trying their hardest to try and get this lead back. Josh Moore still out in front. There goes the 85. He's heading down pit road. Spencer Davis and Axel Rocha do not. Josh Moore. 6 laps to go for this number 3 Gatorade Dodge, with Ian McDaniel right on his back bumper, pushing him into turn number 2. Too wide for the second place position because Axel Rocha is heading down the pit. He got bumped by the 00 of Spencer Davis. And now the many other drivers are pitting. The 84 has some damage on him. That's not looking good. 5 laps to go for Josh Moore as David Krutz has gotten a speeding penalty. He was too fast entering pit road, and he will have to come down pit road another time to serve his speeding penalty. As there he is exiting for his speeding penalty right there, as he had already pitted. But he will be 2 laps down with 4 laps to go here at Walt Disney World Speedway. Coming to 3 laps to go, Josh Moore has nobody else in sight. Nick Roten is the only driver near him. Spencer Davis has pitted from second place. Nick Roten is 5 seconds away. Too far for him to catch the 3 car of Josh Moore. Won at Auto Club, race number 2 last season for season number 1. In a thrilling finish over Alexander Rowe. 2 to go for the 3. Coming into turn number 2. About to dive into turn number 3 for the second to last time. Josh Moore. 1 lap around for the 3 car. Championship contender from last season. An underdog. Not many people thought that he would do well this season. Finished last in the Daytona 500. But he's going to come out of turn number 3 with a 6-second gap. Josh Moore is your winner at Walt Disney World Speedway. An exhilarating finish to a fuel mileage race that we did not expect to see. Wow. Your winner for the Mickyard 400, Josh Moore, back in victory lane for the first time since season number 1 at Auto Club Speedway. A dominating performance by David Krutz. Upset by the 3 car. Moore finishes first. Nick Roten comes in second. Henry Guo stays out to finish third. Aris Yuko in fourth. Aaron Hunter fifth. Michael Guthrie finds himself back in sixth place. Jimothy Sharp seventh. Abel Nickerson eighth. Boston Jones ninth. Sam Francis rounding out the top 10. Lamar Scarborough, Ruth Sharp, Celan Nosler, Arwen Basic, Mitchell Collins, Richard Fridge, Christopher Marnell, Roland Harrison, Thresher, and then Axel Rocha finishes 22nd. Spencer Davis finishes on the lead lap in 23rd. Tom Gill 24th, and then McDaniel, Stapleton, Vargas, Dabo Phillips, Grattan, Rowe, Lane, Rory Sharp, Burridge, Reeves, Hughes, McKean, Harry Williams all finished 1 lap down. Krutz had to serve his speeding penalty, went 2 laps down, and then James Sharp as well went 2 laps down. Very, very interesting. We've got a new points leader now. Let's take a look at these point standings. Sam Francis atop the point standings. Much different results than we had at Daytona. Josh Harrison sitting there in second with 68 points. Christian Vargas third, Boston Jones fourth, and then Aris Yuko fifth, Colin Scarborough sixth, Nosler seventh, Fridge, Jimothy Sharp, Henry Guo, Spencer Davis, Burridge, Rowe, Grattan, Hunter, Moore, Lamar, Roten, Thresher, Gill, Basic, Guthrie round out that top 22 right there. Very, very close thus far. And then 23rd on back, Reeves, Nickerson, Marnell sitting in 25th. He hasn't had the best start towards the season. Rocha, Rue, and Rory Sharp, Harry Williams, Hayden Phillips, Sean McKean sitting in 31st. Dabo, Hughes, Collins, Rowland, Stapleton, McDaniel sitting there in 37th. Kreutz had a rough day today after dominating the race. Lane, and then James Sharp. That's it for today's race. It was certainly an exciting one. Next week, we're going to be going to Auto Club Speedway for the Auto Club 400 race number 3 for the NCS Sim Racing Challenge, season number 2. We will see you guys all there.